Welcome back to our channel, where we discuss topics related to improving your personal finances. Podcasting has become popular as a medium for sharing stories, information, and entertainment. If you're considering starting your own podcast and want to know how to make money from it, this guide is for you. From setting up your podcast to exploring different monetization strategies, we cover all the essential steps to help you launch successfully and generate revenue. Understanding podcasting. A podcast is essentially a series of spoken word audio episodes focused on a particular topic or theme, such as business, history, or personal development. Listeners can subscribe to the podcast to receive digital files once they are uploaded. 1. Planning your podcast. Choose your niche. Select a topic you are passionate about and consider whether it has enough appeal to attract a significant audience. Define your audience. Understand your audience and what they might want to listen to. Set clear goals. Know what you aim to achieve with your podcast regarding themes, audience engagement, and monetization. 2. Setting up your podcast. Equipment needed. At a minimum, you need a good quality microphone and headphones, a pop filter, and editing software. Recording space. Record in a quiet, echo-free environment. Sound quality significantly affects listener retention. Podcast format. Decide on your format. Will you have co-hosts, guests, or will you go solo? Plan the length of your podcast episodes and the regularity of releases. 3. Creating your content. Content plan. Develop a content schedule that outlines each episode's topic. Consistency is key to building an audience. Scripting. Script your episodes to avoid rambling. A well-structured episode retains listeners better. Editing and production. Editing software. Use software like Audacity or Adobe Audition to edit your audio files to remove unwanted sections. Balance sound levels and add music. Branding elements. Consistently use intros, outros, and music to strengthen your brand identity. 5. Publishing your podcast. Podcast hosting. Choose a podcast hosting provider to store your files and feed them into podcast directories like Apple, Spotify, and Google. RSS feed. Set up an RSS feed for your podcast. This allows your audience to subscribe and get updates whenever a new episode is released. 6. Marketing your podcast. Social media. Promote your podcast through social media channels. Regular updates and snippets can attract more subscribers. Networking. Collaborate with other podcasters or guests who can share your podcast with their audience. 7. Monetizing your podcast. Sponsorships. Partner with brands for sponsorships. Businesses pay to be mentioned during the podcast, especially if you have a large or niche audience. Advertisements include pre-roll, mid-roll, or post-roll ads in your episodes. Subscriber donations. Use platforms like Patreon, where fans can support you financially. Merchandising. Sell branded merchandise related to your podcast theme or content. 8. Leveraging analytics for growth. Monitor analytics. Use your podcast hosting analytics to track listener trends and behaviors. Understand what works and what doesn't. Engage your audience. Use feedback from listeners to improve your podcast. Engaged listeners are more likely to support your podcast financially. 9. Scaling up. Expand your offering. As your podcast grows, consider expanding your content to include video podcasts, live recordings, or additional themed series. Build a community. Using social media groups or online forums to enhance listener loyalty and retention. Foster a community around your podcast. In conclusion, starting and monetizing a podcast can be a rewarding venture. It requires planning, commitment, and creativity to stand out in the crowded podcasting landscape. You can turn your podcast into a profitable business by producing high-quality content and using strategic marketing and monetization tactics. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel.